Hey friends and family, welcome to Marcie Creates. This is Marcie, and as you can see, I got a whole mess of gorgeousness on my bead board, and I am going to be working tonight with the sparkling Snowfall collection from Bead Box. I do like that they are adding the prices to the ends of the items, so you have an approximate breakdown of the value, which is really nice. That's a nice touch that they've started. I don't know, I guess they've done it the last couple of months and I haven't noticed. But in this box you get 18 items, and the metals are all lead-free, nickel-free, cadmium-free. Heat-treated and dyed items, some of them. Stainless steel products are surgical grade and hypoallergenic, which is nice for people that have skin sensitivity with metals. And approximate retail value for this is $83, which they did increase their price a little bit. I think it's like $21 or $22 a month. But as you can see, this is well worth it. You could not leave a bead store with all these and you would be spending a lot more money. Now I also have over here, these are not part of the bargain bead box. I have some gold because I thought that might look really nice with some of this. And I also have some silver in case I want some different sizes of things. Real quick, because I know a lot of people did boxes, but I just wanted to point out a few gorgeous things, like hello to this apatite pendant. Is that stunning? I think so. It is so pretty with the marine blues, and I don't know, it kind of looks like an iridescent lake. I guess that's the best way to describe it. And then I've never heard of tiger iron before. These are spectacular. They have little round markings, and they're beautiful, kind of teal and marine blue. Then we have some dyed, treated dyed agate, also gorgeous. They're calling these moon beads. I call them mermaid beads, but I love the little glow in those. We have some snowflakes in different iterations. We have stainless steel link, really pretty drops, and some hematite. Gorgeous. We also have spacer beads, bead caps, really pretty toggles. I like those. And look at these AB teardrops. Aren't those cool? So very sparkly, very snowfall-y. You know, I mentioned a snowfall evening one night. It looks a lot like that. Oh, and we have some crackle agate too, which I love. So anyway, I'm going to make a focal piece tonight. I already got started because I didn't want the video to be super long. I did make these ahead of time, these little drops. They have one of the bicones. They have the little tiny apatite faceted rondelles. And then I thought this little touch of purple would be cute. It was literally sitting on my desk when I opened the box, and I thought that's really kind of pretty with that. So we're going to be just doing little touches of this really pretty silver lined. This is a number 11 Toho seed bead. And I thought, so again, I thought we would start on the focal piece. Now I have, this is an 18 gauge piece of wire, and I'm just gonna get it warm. And I'm trying to decide how big I want to make this focal piece. Not really sure if I want it quite this long. So I may have to readjust, but so for right now, you know what? I think I am gonna cut a little of this. I think that is just a little too big. We'll save that piece for something else. This should do it. I think this is about 6 inches. And I've got a couple of bail making pliers that I'm going to be using tonight. I have my smaller ones, which are these, and I have the larger ones. And I think I'm going to be using the larger one on this and the larger one on this. So what I'm going to be doing is making just a focal piece right now. So I'm going to take the wire and I'm just going to make a P shape. You guys. Did I mention my wire is airborne? I was trying to get a good angle to show you. Well, that worked out well, didn't it? Anyway, let me just go ahead and make the P before I destroy things in my office. So this is all I'm doing with the bail right now. This cracks me up because earlier today I was looking for something, and I was like, well, that's just like me. I drop everything, and I think it was a jump ring I was looking for. And you guys, it was so funny. I'm sitting here and I'm like looking all over the floor for the jump ring, and guess where it was? It was in my hand. It's like, wow, I just really cannot script this stuff. It just happens. Oh my gosh. Anyway, well, there's your humor for the evening. I know a lot of you appreciate my humor, so there you go. All right, so now we're going to use the bigger plier and the bigger size of that plier. And I'm just going to go right underneath where I made those loops. And I'm just going to hold this so you can see it and hopefully it won't go flying. And I'm just going to bend it in the opposite way. Just like that. So you've got kind of a figure 8 almost. Or some people call it a shepherd's crook type look. And we're going to do that to the other side. So you just want to make sure that the smaller side of the pliers is touching the P, the loop on the P. And then you just do that. And now we have this. Okay? So little loops, P's, go to the opposite side and make another loop so that you almost have a figure 8. And you could keep going with this. I'm just going to press it. You could keep going with this and make a link, to be honest, but we're not going to do that today. But you can see, you can just push it with your thumbs, which is kind of nice. So now I want to make, because I'm going to be making a focal piece out of this apatite, and I'm going to hang this, if you can see the hole through there. It's right through this way. So I'm going to hang the snowflake right on top like that. So we're going to have to make a separate bail for this. So I want a spot for my bail to hang. So I'm just going to look for the center, and I'm probably not going to get it exactly in the center, but you just want to take a look, and then I'm going to just grab these and bend up. You know what? I think it would be better if I use something that grips a little better than the round nose. That feels more secure to me. So find something that's narrow, that feels secure to you, and then you're just gonna pull up. And you're going to make a V. Now that's not going to stay that way. You could use it this way. If you like this shape, that's what's nice about this technique. And I play with this all the time. You'll come up with all kinds of shapes. I mean, just get some wire out and, you know, play around with the different shapes, because you'll find that certain things will connect with certain things, and you can stack them and do all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm just gonna, let's see, let me just do that. What I'm after is I just want to get a little spot where I can hang that piece where it's not going to go flying. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh no, I don't want to do that. You could do this. See how I pulled those together? But I kind of like this shape better. So, what's nice about the 18 gauge is, not that you still want to be gentle with it, because you don't want to mark up all your wire. And if you have, I noticed Neil Patel has this white substance where you can dip the tips of your pliers in so you don't mark up the wire. I keep meaning to, if anybody knows what that is, please leave a comment for me, because I got to do that. The more and more I get into wire work. All right, so that's not perfect. I think I can fix it though. It's going to be kind of subtle once we do what I'm going to do next. So if yours is a little cattywampus, don't worry. Honestly, we're going to be covering this with some beads, so you're not going to really see a lot of that. I just want to make sure I have a little divot so that when I hang this, it doesn't go anywhere. Gravity will kind of help. So now I'm going to take one of these wire guys. I love to keep these. This one's almost empty, but I'll keep it so that I can make this round. And I'm just pressing down just like that. So now see, we have a rounded shape. And now I'm just going to pull this out because I don't want it as, now this is where, you know, designer's choice comes in. You can pull this out as far as you want. This is as far as I'm going to pull it. So that's our piece. And it has nice little graceful, you know, wire wrapping. So that's the other thing I would suggest, is just start looking around your house for things that you could use as mandrels, different sizes. You don't have to go out and buy mandrels. You can use a pill bottle. I've used both the handle and the bottle of a nail polish. Old makeup brushes, you can use those handles. Anything. So see what you can come up with. But this is what we're left with. So what is going to happen is we're going to hang this piece here, and then I'm going to put some beads. I'm going to wire wrap some beads to this. Okay. And then we're going to hang our dangles down here. And I will make those tighter so that our dangles don't come off. So, step one is going to be making our, oh, and I'll probably add a little bit of gold because we're going to be mixing our metals. I know that surprises you. Oh, I forgot to mention these. Look at those. The twisty crystals. I love those. Okay, back to work. So I need to make a bail so I can hang this. So for that, I think I'm going to do some 22 gauge. I just find that easier to work with. Let's see. And let's put our, so there's two sides to this snowflake, more shiny side and then a kind of frosty textured side. I want that textured side to show. So I'm just gonna slide this through here. Then I'm gonna add my snowflake. And I may add a bead to the top of this, we'll see. And then I'm just gonna make a loop that's big enough to accommodate, and I'm just gently pulling each piece. And then I think I want to use the taller piece. I just bent it with my nail as the wire wrap piece, and then I'm going to take this smaller piece and just wrap it a few times. May have to adjust it a little, but that's what we have so far. And then this piece is hanging out here. Might do a little spiral or something with that. Haven't really decided yet. And then we're going to make a loop, but I think I will add, let's see, let's add a small bead at the top here. So I'm grabbing a bead cap. Let's grab a really cool looking agate. Let's see how that looks. That's pretty cool. But I think maybe we want to do, let's see, are these guys too small? This is the crackled agate. That's pretty small. Maybe something with more contrast. Maybe one of these guys. This is also the agate, but it's a really light. Oh, that's cool looking. Yeah, don't discount these really odd looking ones that come in the sets, because all you need is one to set something off, and I like how that kind of plays up the green in here. That looks really cool. All right, so we'll add this guy. And if this goes too long, I may finish this off in a part 2, because I don't want to. I think that's the bead that I had trouble with, the bead cap I had trouble with the last time I was using that. I need to get my bead reamer. Okay, so that's cute. So let's continue with a loop. Hope you guys are doing well. I can't believe this week is flying by. My gosh. Every time I get on the camera, I know I say that, but man, it's alarming. I didn't think summer was going to ever end, and I'm happy to report it don't feel like summer here at all. Thank you, thank you. It is hot chocolate season. One thing I'm definitely going to try this season is a tiny skosh of cayenne pepper in my hot chocolate. I've heard that's really tasty. All right, now the decision is, do I want to make a loop? And I'm not particularly wild about this wire showing right there, so I think that I am going to make a little decorative loop. And this is something that Gem Hawks does a lot, and I like it. It can just hide a little bit of space. So I'm going to go ahead and make a loop. And I'm not the world's greatest loop maker, but I am learning. And the first thing I learned is you have to also let that touch. But once you've got that going, then the rest of it needs to, you have to kind of make it, mine always end up angular. I don't know why. Maybe it's the other way. You shouldn't touch it. I'm okay with it being a little angular though. Like I said, I have to practice my loops. I don't think they look bad, but they're certainly not as pretty as a Gem Hawks loop. All right. Looks better than a piece of wire just hanging out though. So, that looks pretty good. I could use with a little more practice. But, for all intents and purposes, so we're going to put this piece on this. Now, I did already wrap the loop, but we can open up one of these sides, and I'm just going to twist with my wrist and open up that little space right there. And we're going to hang our pendant. Now you notice that's backwards, but it really doesn't matter. Now it's forwards. It's not a big deal. So however you get it on there, you can always just flip it around. So this is what I mean about gravity hanging onto this. Now that we have that little divot, this is going to hang onto this, and I need to twist that some more. There we go. Okay. Play with it later. One of those things you got to zhuzh, you know. All right, so now we have this beautiful piece ready for our next stage. In our next stage, and once we get, this isn't going to slide all over like it is once we get the rest of this on. So the next stage is we're going to put some beads all along here. And I'm thinking, how many are going to fit? This is when you find out how even you were when you were making your divot, your little. So I think I like that. And then maybe we'll put some seed beads in between. Let's see. Just playing. So, seed bead, and gold on either side. That might work. let's try that. So let me put this to the side. I'm gonna grab this 22 gauge wire again. I'm gonna grab a whole bunch of it because we're gonna do a little other technique, and I want a bunch of wire. And I hope I don't hit the camera, or it goes airborne. Almost dropped almost dropped that. Okay. You know, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? All right. So this is 22 gauge wire. And I'm just going to string. I'm actually going to make a loop at one end so I don't. So none of these come sliding off of here before I'm ready for them. So I'm just going to make a loop. It's not going to stay, obviously, but I just don't want my beads to slide off while I'm doing this. So here's my feeble attempt at a loop. Don't care, it's just more of a stopper for the beads. All right, so now let's string. Let's string these on. So we've got another reason why I picked the 22 gauge is because I'm using seed beads and they will fit on the 22 gauge. Other gauges of wire, you can't get the seed beads on. So just a consideration if you decide to do this and use the seed beads. You could do 24 gauge wire or even 26 gauge wire. That would be fine. 22 is probably the, I don't think it would fit on 20. It might. Depends on your seed beads, I think. And we're stringing. I got all my boxes this week, so you're going to be seeing Dee Dee's box. That's next. I got my Sam's box. I'm still working on the boxes from last month. I did make some more earrings. So there'll be a finished jewelry update coming up real soon. So just stay tuned for all of that. So let me just check and see how I'm gonna like that. And then if it's gonna fit. Now, this will hide some stuff. So if you want the wire to be showing, you'll probably need to make a shorter piece. So I think I like that. I'm going to slide these down for just a minute. Now this is where my loop is, because I'm going to anchor this. And how I'm going to do that is I need to open this up just a little bit. So we're just going to, just like you would a jump ring. And I'm going to wrap this just a couple of times. Now, a smaller gauge would probably be better, but I think this will be okay. Also, I think I might want to make some more swirls. Easy for me to say. All right, and then we're going to slide, you're going to zip line those down. We're going to move, now these will slide on your piece Let me scoot those down just a second. Now we can all right. I'm not completely shutting this. I'm just getting it out of the way so that I can now do this other side. We are going to be using another gauge wire here in a minute. You'll see why. So we have about 3 wraps up here, so we're going to probably do the same thing. And I think as I'm doing this, I'm going to hold this middle piece just with my thumb, because this is where we want our beads to anchor. Let me grab. So I slid right through that opening I made, and now I'm just going to go around. What'd I say, 3 times? I think I did. Smaller gauges of wire will be easier. Let me check this side. Yeah, that was about 3. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to come in with a smaller plier and just straighten up all my little wraps just to make sure they look uniform. Okay, so now, and again, you're gonna be able to move this stuff around a little bit. So, like, this needs to probably come this way, and this needs to move up. So I think, let me move that down just a little bit more. Does take some finagling. I'm going to cut this piece. It's banging on everything. Let's see, how long do I have here? All right. Okay. Okay, so when I get to my next wire part, I'll be able to center this and keep it there. So let's make some more swirls. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to make a spot for our wire. So I was thinking about, so just jumping ahead a little bit, I was thinking about using these to attach here. But I don't want them sliding. So I want to make a little spot, because I'm going to use a jump ring. I think I'm going to make a little spot, not a big one, just like that, so that when my jump ring gets put there, it won't go anywhere. Some of this is engineering, which, trust me, I do not have a degree in, not even remotely, but and I think I'm not going to make swirls. I don't want to tempt fate. So what I suggest once you decide you're done is when you cut the wire that you're wiring with or adding your pieces on, do cut it on the inside where it's not going to snag on anything. That's another little trick I learned from Jem, who is awesome. I adore her. She drops things too. She's in very good company because, you know. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just going to make a small little spot. All right, we'll cut that. And when I attach those other things, you'll see what I mean. Just to keep it from the necklace from sliding around. Okay. So now I'm just gonna center this a little better. And we're gonna anchor it in a few places. Won't that be kind of cool to anchor with a little bit of gold? Because we're, like I said, we're gonna mix metals. So this is 26 gauge gold. It's about, I don't know, close to 24 inches. And we are going to anchor this right up here next to our other coils. And now this is thinner, so you really want to be careful and not snip it. I mean, don't bend it a lot. Be very gentle with it because it will snap. So we've got our gold wire anchored. And now I'm going to come through here and I'm going to anchor these beads so they don't slide around. Now here's where I want to center it. And do understand, nothing's going to be perfect because it's handmade. So give yourself a break and don't worry if it's not perfection. That's not the idea here. Now the question is, do I want to go back? And I think I do. So I made it long so that I could kind of cross over. Now, at any point in any of these steps that I'm taking, if you don't want to do it, you can stop, you know, at any point. I'm just being extra. And I just want it how I want it. I like the crisscross look. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sorry, was I off camera? Crisscross, crisscross. All right. Cut. I'm just going to come in here and make sure you're cutting the right wire too. And only that wire. Lord knows I've done that a million times. All right. Okay. And I think I'm just going to move this out a little. So here is our pendant. Now what we're going to do, so as you can see, you've got the little snowflake guy. You've got, and I'll move in a little here. Hang on. There's our piece. Okay. And we're going to hang these dangles. Should have probably put some gold in these dangles, but I'm not going to go back and change it now. Or I could have used my gold head pins. Oh well. I think we got plenty of gold going on. So we're going to add these. So how we're going to add these, we're just going to open up our loop. And then we're just going to wiggle this so that it stays shut. Other side. And let's get this ready to string tomorrow. I think we'll finish this off tomorrow. I think we got to let the whole focal piece idea sink in. So, all right, so then I want to add these, and then I'm going to add my wire to those. So let's get some jump rings. Oh, I spilled a whole bunch of jump rings too, by the way. That's why I thought my jump ring that I was using I dropped when it was still in my hands. in my pliers. I'm glad I can entertain myself. All right, so we're just doing basic jump ring here. I know that was a lot, but it looks really cool when you get through all that. Guess what went flying? But I caught it. Yay! Hold the press. There we go. Sometimes you have to zhuzh. We'll add this guy. I do like to figure out different ways to connect things. I find it kind of fun, a fun challenge. It's like, what if I did this? What if I did that? And I encourage you to do that. You will come up with some cool stuff all on your own. Let me make sure this is gonna... I know everybody's screaming, watch out for your finger. I hear you. Okay, hopefully that'll come through there. If not, well, we'll have to figure something else out. I could have made more loops at the top, you know, with the wire. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but this is the way I thought would be best for now. But that's, you know, when you do stuff like this, what I was meaning to say is, you know, every time you come up with something and it doesn't quite work, you do know where you went wrong and what you're going to do differently the next time. So I do encourage you to just take your wire and make a bunch of shapes, and then try to connect the shapes, and then try to anchor the beads to the shapes. And you're going to come up with some cool stuff. Because I like learning the techniques from Jem and all those folks, but I want it to make it mine. A technique is one thing, but I don't want to copy somebody else's design exactly. You know what I mean? So that was 47 minutes of a focal, or, you know, unboxing and a focal. I didn't really do a boxing, but once we hang this on a necklace, it's going to look really cool. Let me back out just a little bit. And I do love this box from Bargain Bead Box. I think they did a really nice job with the colors, and I think adding the gold and a little bit of another color kind of gives it even more life. And so definitely encourage you to try that too. And just as a last thought, these really did not scream winter to me. They look like sea anemones, or, you know, they're cute, and they match, and I'm not complaining. They're nice little components. I'll probably make some earrings out of them, but I just wasn't, this did not say sparkling snowfall to me. But that's okay. Love the color. I will use them, and, you know, hey, they're part of a cool box. So, part 2 tomorrow night. We'll actually make the strung part of the necklace, but I love how this turned out. I really like it. And again, it's not perfect, but that's, hey, that's handmade, you know. No one's going to walk up to you with a ruler. If they do, I don't know. Tell them they're invading your personal space. I'm sorry, I'm punchy. All right, I'm going to say goodnight. I fed the dogs, so they don't need anything, but I am going to go. You know, I have a new bed. I don't know if I told you all, and it tells me now on an app on my phone when it's time to go to bed. So I think I saw that message flash. So obviously I'll upload this video first, but be looking for the second part of this necklace, which is going to be the strung portion. And then I've got Dee Dee's box, like I said, and I also have Sam's Bead Box. And then I have a series I'm going to be introducing. So stay tuned for that. So have a great evening or morning or afternoon or whenever it is you're watching this. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It just helps me so much. Even if you just subscribe, I just can't thank you enough. Thank you for all the lovely comments And I'm glad that I could be inspiring you. And I have lots of great ideas for next year, which is right around the corner. So exciting things, folks. And again, thank you so much for being the most wonderful viewers. So take care of your sweet selves and your families. Be safe. And I will see you on the next video.